So every year I get new subscribers, some of which haven't seen some of my older videos, which makes me every now and then want to retouch on another old subject that may have already been talked about. Today my melanated Negroes and Negresses, as well as anyone else that's want to watch this video, we're going to talk about the 4th of July and whether or not black people should be celebrating this day. Let me give a scenario that I gave a few years ago. There's a fictional country called the United States of the Middle East, and they're in debt servitude to China. The United States of the Middle East decided to invade America and turn the whole population of white Americans into slaves. They started a trans-Pacific slave trade, shipping slaves all throughout Asia and to China and shipping them to Russia and other places. And they leave a great deal of white American slaves over here on the Americas. But bottom line, white people are in captivity at the hands of Arabs from the United States of the Middle East. As time passes, China, they put taxes and all that kind of stuff on the United States of the Middle East, and they start to get pissed off. Like, man, y'all just taxing us without representation. So the United States of the Middle East began to boycott China's goods, and then it results in a full-blown war for independence. The general of the United States of the Middle East, Muhammad Ashubar, whatever, I'm just making up a name, he wins this war. But meanwhile, European white people are still enslaved to the United States of the Middle East, or the USME for short. Years go by. The USME citizens and governmental officials oppress the Caucasians that live over here in the Americas, as well as everywhere else where the USME has territory. Families are broken up. Wives are raped. Children are fed to lions. White men are castrated. White men and women and children are forced to labor in the fields in the hot sun for years and years. Old white men are lynched, hung from trees and set on fire and just brutally and horrendously tortured and then killed. Old white women are forced to tell their sons and their husbands to just keep it leveled head, stay cool and everything, be calm, because you don't want them to try to look for a reason to kill you. And bottom line, white people are just oppressed by Arabs. The USME has gained their independence from China, so they have an Independence Day. Let's say it's August the 4th, right? And so I guess my question is, are Europeans throughout the years being oppressed by these USMEs, are y'all gonna celebrate August the 4th as Independence Day? Are y'all gonna get some ribs and some fireworks and all that stuff to celebrate the independence of Arabs from their Chinese masters? Like, no, I'm seriously legit asking a objective question. Like, I really want to know. I want y'all to comment below in the comment section. Any Europeans that watch this video, I really want to see your thoughts. You honestly think that the Caucasians would allow themselves to be humbled to the point to where they're celebrating the independence of Arabs from their masters? If yes, explain why. And if no, you don't have to explain anything, because I already know why. If Arabs came over here and took this land over, white people would go down fighting that. Like, they would all rather be dead than to serve Arab masters. And even if the Arabs did win, white people would be so gung-ho about overthrowing the new Islamic regime over here on the Americas that they would never ever even possibly consider, in any multiverse of possible choices and opportunities, consider celebrating the Arabs' independence from their masters. That's just not something that they would do. So now I want to know, why do y'all expect black people to celebrate the independence of white people from their British masters? It's like white America literally expects black people to get down on their knees and beg like a dog, you know, just lick massa's hork spit off of the ground and just, oh yes, massa. Oh yes. Oh, you's free, massa. I's happy for you, massa. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get my little pork ribs. You know, I'm gonna get my little fireworks, massa. And we gonna have a good time. Us Negroes, we gonna be happy for you, massa. Hey, y'all,
massa free.
What does that mean for us, though?
I don't know, but I is happy.
Man, we still out here in the hot sun, pickings all this cotton, and we's tired, man. You know, we live in this little shack, and Massa, he over there living it up in that nice home over there.
But Massa patted me on the head today, so I's happy. I'm happy for their independence, yo.
That peck of wood took my wife last night. Then he threatened to beat me. Why should I be happy for his independence?
Because that's Massa.
Bottom line, man, it's foolish to celebrate your oppressor's freedom when you were still slaves at the time. I mean, that's just the facts. Black people were still in slavery, being raped, still being hung from trees, still being beaten for dropping eggs and breaking them, or still being hunted like dogs in the forest in the middle of the night whenever they tried to escape slavery. And our emancipation wasn't on July the 4th. Like, literally, I would think that the day that the slaves were officially set free here in America, that would be the day that we would celebrate as our Independence Day. But no, we're still celebrating Massa's Independence Day from his masters, but just F our independence. I mean, it behooves me that we were set free. Like, we have an official day that we were set free. They call it Juneteenth. And nobody in the hood, nobody in the suburbs, no Negroes want to celebrate that day. Like, we don't care about our own freedom. We care more about Massa's freedom. Like, why don't we celebrate the day that slave masters couldn't legally own us as slaves anymore? That's because we're too ignorant, we're too foolish, we're too full of self-hatred, and we don't care about our history. We don't care about what our ancestors had to go through. I mean, literally, slavery was very recent. I mean, some of us have grandparents who are still alive who had family members who were in slavery. And we just don't care. We don't care about our legacy as a people. And for me, it's very sickening, because for me, it shows how my people are very detached. We don't care about all the injustice that our people had to go through and the injustice that our people are going through right now. I mean, had this been an atrocity that happened to the Jews, like those fake Jews over there that claim to be victims of the Holocaust and all that stuff. I mean, the census records of that time period show that probably less than a few 10,000 of them were actually killed during that time period. But that's a whole nother topic for another time. Let's just say the Holocaust numbers were kind of spiked a little bit. But had this been a freaking atrocity that happened to white Jewish people, it could be like 200 or 300 years from now, they will still be harping on this as some type of historical atrocity that we must never forget. Our people were done totally wrong by the Nazis. I hate Nazis. Those people were so wicked towards us. And they will never let that rest. But us as a people, we don't care about what our people have gone through. If that Jewish Holocaust happened to black people, like say if it was black people that were over there in the Holocaust, we would actually be trying to befriend the Nazis. Like, we would be trying to, we shall overcome, sing with them and crap. Trying our best to mingle into Nazi society. Celebrating Nazi independence from their masters. Like I said, if you're a black person and you celebrate the 4th of July, I think you need to do some serious research. Because this day was not your independence. It was the independence of Becky Sue Beth Smith. That's whose independence it was. It was not the independence for our people. We were still in slavery. We were still being tortured and whipped and raped and castrated in slavery. That's what was going on the day of independence. Heck, when they were independent, they probably went out there. Some of them men probably went out there and had a freaking raping fit down there in the slave quarters, snatching black women up, talking about, oh, we free now. We about to have a good time. Probably went down there raping the heck out of little black girls and black women and everything. You know how white folks get all rowdy when something that they like happens? be out there shooting their guns up in the air, and Independence Day come, they just out there, or on New Year's Day, they out there just shooting their guns and just living riotous as heck. When the Declaration of Independence became official, that's probably what the white colonial slave masters did back then. They just had a funky good time at the expense of black people, at the expense of black slaves. Do your research. I'm Elijah Reich. Subscribe to this channel, unsubscribe, like the video, dislike the video, share and comment. Do whatever you want. And with that, I will say peace.